Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my Twisted Dimension. With Regulation G being announced to be a single restricted format, many are clamoring to start testing their builds and to try and determine what kind of meta we'll see. We all know many returning war criminals are already looking promising, such as Calyrex Shadow, but with the Bike Dragons and Terapagos entering the mix, we're sure to see some interesting strategies. Of course, I'm a one-trick Trick Room princess, so you're here to see what monsters I'll be using while twisting the dimensions. I'm not one for disappointing people, so I'm here to talk about the 3 best restricted Pokemon to be using in Regulation G. For each Pokemon, I'll be sharing a rental code for a sample team as well. Before we get into the top 3, I do want to give honorable mentions to Palkia, Dialga, and Necrozma Duskmane. These Pokemon are all indeed excellent on Trick Room, but they are not strong enough in their own right to be the sole restricted on your team. Groudon has often been seen the second to Kyogre in restricted formats, except when Primal Reversion was around. However, with so many ways to benefit from the sun this generation, and even more ways to punish Kyogre such as Raging Neck, Groudon may finally see a format where he outshines the big fish. While not a traditionally hard Trick Room Pokemon, Groudon plays a balanced Trick Room role excellently with its base 90 speed. Boasting a mammoth 150 attack stat, Groudon does not require full investment to dish out incredible damage, and thus can be speed crept appropriately while also going heavy in the bulk department. Precipice Blaze as a primary stab option can be awkward at times, especially given this is likely to be a wide guard heavy format, but when it connects, Groudon will be ripping most enemies apart like the ground under them. This sample team was created as a joint effort by my friends Jean-Marc VGC and Crest of Thunders. Crest laid down the groundwork while Jean-Marc helped polish it. Being a bounce player at heart, he created this build that functions off of the natural bulk and longevity of staples such as Groudon and Raging Bolt, while also having the side Trick Room mode with Gallade and Porygon 2, for when the opponent can outspeed and threaten you too consistently. Because Psychic Terrain is not a part of this team, we opted for Leaf Blade over Psycho Cut on Gallade to have coverage for Kyogre and opposing Groudons in the mirror. Groudon is built with Clear Amulets, so Intimidate cycling with Incineroar cannot slow down our plans. Lunala has been a premier Trick Room sweeper and utility Pokemon since its introduction to VGC. Being one of the few Pokemon to be blessed with Wide Guard, it packs an incredible amount of roll compression into one slot, which is ideal for a restricted Pokemon. Lunala plays very similarly to how Armarouge did in Reg F by being able to set Trick Room while also carrying Meteor Beam. In fact, I referenced Lunala in the original video about Meteor Beam Armarouge. Lunala also gets an absurd ability in Shadow Shield, which functions identically to Multiscale and halves the damage of the first attack takes. Lunala, having max HP investment, allows it to tank quite a few quad-effective hits from Pokemon that are not named Fluttermane. Ghost-type also lets Lunala sit comfortably in front of various Fake-Out users that cycle with Rillaboom or Miraidon to remove Psychic Terrain. Lunala unfortunately heavily suffers from poor move slot syndrome. For this team, I've opted to put Wide Guard on Gallade because of so many dark types in the format causing Meteor Beam plus Expanding Force to be somewhat awkward sometimes. A Sizeman team like this does not heavily benefit from Lilycole, so we have opted to return to the classic Scarf Darkshoe as the fast, quick KO Pokemon. The rest of the rental is stock Sizepam, with Specs Torkoal running Solar Beam to help deal Kyogre. I also wanted to add that since originally recording this script, a really fun Lunala x Armarouge team won the Hemi Turner Tour. Calyrex is simply broken, in either form. I am most often associated with Armarouge and Sizepam, but my love of Trick Room in VGC really took off when I got to play with Calyrex for the first time. With Clear Amulet now being a thing, it is nearly impossible to stop the big noggin from snowballing. I've been excited for all of Gen 9 to get to use Calyrex again. Boasting one of the most perfect stat spreads ever given to a Pokemon, Calyrex has monstrous bulk and an attack that violates the Geneva Convention, with barely any points wasted in speed or special attack. Just what we like to see. Calyrex also gets one of the only 2 physical spread moves in all of Pokemon that has 0 drawbacks, as all other physical spread moves except for Thousand Arrows either have imperfect accuracy or also hit the partner Pokemon. Glacial Lance, being an ice move, is also just icing on the cake due to Ice's incredible offensive coverage. Calyrex gets a host of coverage moves, such as Seed Bomb, Heavy Slam, and Close Combat, but realistically all he needs to run is High Horsepower and Glacial Lance, as Ground Ice is nearly unparalleled in coverage. I promised friends and fans that there would be an Armarouge in this video, but Gallade being on all the teams is entirely coincidental since I didn't make the Groudon team myself. When testing the earliest ideas of Reg G I had, I decided to try my Reg F team with simply swapping Ursaluna for Calyrex among a few other tweaks, and I was floored at how consistent the core was. On the first day of Regulation G ladder on Showdown, I took a 15-game win streak to the top of the ladder with ease. Lilligant being able to after you Calyrex in the sun gives the team a fast mode that does not at all rely on Trick Room, and I used a similar function with Ursaluna many times in my recent tournament successes with the Reg F team. Armarouge and Lilligant also help to deal with most of the things that Calyrex can't do so as easily, such as Bronzong or Kyogre. The mention of Bronzong is no joke. I expect it to do well in Regulation G on Trick Room teams, but that's something I'll dive into at a later time. Fire Tera is a common one for Calyrex so far, but I've opted for Water so that we don't pick up a weakness to Water and Ground, two very common attacking types in a single restricted meta. I hope you enjoy these teams as they were very fun to build and test. As a celebration for being close to 500 subscribers at the time of this video being uploaded, I will be giving away a 1-speed IV Calyrex that I caught myself to celebrate once I hit that milestone. All you'll need to do to enter is to subscribe, join my Discord, and enter the giveaway there. Thank you all for watching. Ruby out.